Hello, Ingrid here from No More Noise Toronto, and I'm going to give you a recap of the all group catch up meetings that we had on February 26th and March 1st. So, quick intro over No More Noise Toronto is what we had. I'm not going to cover that here. Why we organizing now, what groups have met and comments and proposed actions, timelines, and tasks. So, most of you know what No More Noise Toronto is all about. So, I'm going to hop over this. You also know that while I have not been alone, we're also organizing and going because we want to go further together. And noise is a big, messy problem that I believe we can solve. There is no one who says noise isn't a problem except the noisemakers and the people that don't know what to do about it. So we're here to try and help them know what to do to reduce noise pollution. So all of this energy is to focus until April 1st, when the Toronto Public Health is going to report on their noise action plan to the Board of Health. So what I would love to have happen is that we have 60 people speak at the board meeting, which is on April 1st. And we had 40 people speak at the noise bylaw review. So as this has to do with any noise source and the impacts on our health, I think we can get to 60. And I'd like to send 40,000 emails in total. So there's lots of ways for people to contribute. We all have different talents, and I want everybody to know that I recognize this as a volunteer effort for all of us. And so time and energy capacity is different for everyone. And I believe collaboration always leads to better outcomes. So the groups that have met is communications, motor vehicles, waste collection, amplified sound, stationary noise, and residential air conditioners. So in the communications group, basically the message that came out was that we need to make people aware of the issue and also give people hope. And make sure that I mention that all counselors agree that noise is an issue. So there is a possibility that we may do a survey of them for April 1st, but we'll see if time allows that. So media, we need to get to the right of center. Apparently left, we've got lots of support, but we need to get to the right of center. People were saying that we need to tie into special media people, journalists, and then tie into the radio campaign that we have with Zoomer. And then there was a bunch of media ideas on where we could be, where we could have exposure. So we need to find connections with advertising agencies. Apparently some of them do pro bono work. We need a media kit on the website. I currently am building one. I think there's a link going to be coming up later on to that. Proofreading is super helpful, and some have already volunteered. If you like proofreading, I've got content for you to proofread, and it would be in manageable bites. We also need to write to get letters of support from community groups, resident associations, other grassroots and environmental groups, schools, daycares. And we also need to find allies such as developers, condos, associations, and those kind of things. So what's happening now for communications? Well, we've got a new website. I hope you click on that link and check it out, nomorenoisetoronto.com. A lot of work went into this, hence that's why this has been a little delayed. So I appreciate your understanding. So from March 18th to 31st, we have 2 different sets of Zoomer ads, radio ads going out, and we're just proofing those now. And then I'm also starting a Toronto Public Library speaking tour. We've got one date on March 20th for the Albion Library, and then I've got other dates in May and June. And then we're also creating flyers for people to print and post, and they are going to be on the website. On the website, I'm going to have like a resources page or an outreach page where those flyers, and there's an example of that on the slide here. So we're going to have one print and post for all noise sources, and then waste collection, vehicle vanity noise, and amplified sound. So what can be done now? We need to create a resident association or community association letter to share the info regarding April 1st and the campaign that we have, and to share that with members. So we need to find lists of organizations. Apparently they're out there on the internet. I have some, but it would be good to combine those. And also business improvement areas would also be a target. So there's the link to the media kit. I need help with editing and writing. It's so hard writing about yourself. And then I said, it's proofreading website content would be great. And you don't need to go into the website to do that. It can literally be copy paste into Word and track changes, or Google Sheets and comment. There's lots of ways to do that easily and in bite-sized pieces. So motor vehicle noise met, and there was lots of discussion around this. And motor vehicle noise is going to be a group that continues past April 1st. And so we'll look at all of these a little bit more in depth. But for April 1st, what we need to do is raise awareness and educate residents and have that campaign for Toronto Public Health's report to the Board of Health on their noise action plans, because the Board of Health or Toronto Public Health recognized in their report how loud is too loud, that traffic is the #1 cause of noise. And so we need to create a set of asks that apply to the city of Toronto on ways that they can reduce noise, vehicle noise. So there's also lots of other things that we can do here. Research what we need from the province, from other areas, connect with local associations, and then we're looking to have a summer provincial email campaign to get changes across the province. So what can be done now? I'd love for somebody to investigate the Association of Ontario Municipalities, or Municipalities of Ontario, because there's the website AMO. They meet in August. Can we get on the speakers list somehow? We need to create the asks for the Toronto Public Health email campaign. And then we also need a list of people who should be getting those emails. And I need first name, last name, position, and email address for that custom Excel sheet that creates those emails. Waste collection noise. There was a number of different things suggestions where people need to get to talk to their property manager. We should have a flyer campaign, because the waste collection noise, especially overnight, tends to be quite localized in certain areas. So we are building a flyer for that. Remove the exemption is one of the options on the table. Coordinate pickup times to reduce interruptions, educate the drivers, make the bins quieter. And the suggestion was also to have a media presentation in Willowdale. Get Councillor Cheng to speak. For the person that suggested that, if you need help getting that set up, let me know. But it would be great if you could do some of the legwork on that. Thank you. So what can be done now? Asks for the campaign. Again, for the, how can we reduce the noise at night? Email, I need an email list of people, and then that media event. So amplified sound, lots of discussion around this one. There's basically, somebody said that there's two types of amplified sound: the predictable, when the restaurants become nightclubs, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. And then the unpredictable, such as banquet halls having events. So the festivals need to be managed better. There is now a alcohol and licensing application map from the City of Toronto, which will help people know when festivals are coming to their area. And maybe they can leave if they're able to. Neighbor to neighbor noise is a really big problem. Loudspeakers in private homes. The reporting for amplified sound doesn't work. Enforcement doesn't work. Equipment. There's possibility that we can do sound level monitoring and testing. And there was someone who joined the group where Councillor Nunziata's ward is a possibility. Shift workers need to sleep during the day, so we actually need to just reduce the noise at all times of day in Toronto. And I like these comments that we need to rebuild a culture about caring about each other, because when somebody says, well, my noise trumps your sleep, that's not a culture of caring for each other. And so noise and culture, why has music gotten so much louder? We go into restaurants. Well, I was in a dollar store the other day, and the music was blaring and I didn't really want to listen to it. So I think loud doesn't equal good. And so that needs to be discussed. So what can be done now? Again, amplified sound. We need asks for the campaign, 3 or 4, and then the email list of people for that campaign. And so the next steps is to create a list of recommendations for each noise source that we can use in an email campaign for the Board of Health meeting on April 1st. Created a list of emails that should receive those letters. The software will automatically add people's counselor if they enter their postal code. The email campaign will run from March 25th to April 1st and possibly beyond. And then I really hope that you who are watching this contemplate speaking on April 1st. This clearly has the most impact. That's why we have this meeting on April 1st, is because 40 people deputed over a year ago in January of 2024 and shared how noise impacts their health. So there's the dates where you can register, where we will set people up for success. We'll go over what it looks like to depute. We'll go over the email campaign and all of those good things. So we had a couple catch-up meetings, and so here's the comments from them: to create a template for deputation, and also a template for if people want to write their own letters. I think that's important. We need to advocate for provincial legislation, and I think that really is going to apply. So put a flyer on the website for people to post and print, and a blurb to put in the newsletter, and copy and paste a PDF. So all of that will be coming. I'm going to be working on that on the website in the very near future. And call it community outreach, or might just call it outreach because long titles don't really work in the top menu item in the navigation. And so I was asking about what about doing ads in major papers? And somebody said, well, you need to make sure you're in the right section and on the right page and all that other stuff. So they suggested neighborhood papers like the Annex paper. And so we've got some leads going there. So again, timelines, tasks, and goals from now until April 1st. We're kind of having our first meetings as working group meetings, and then we're going to have follow-up catch-up meetings in March. So coming up really quick, we're going to start to draft the letters for an email campaign for each group. I have now in the shared drive put all the past templates that we used in January of 2024. So next catch-up meeting will go into that. And then after April 1st, we'll decide if there will be more meetings for working groups, task forces, or not. There's only so much time and capacity for everyone. So we need to think critically about that. So the process to join is mostly, it's basically an online collaboration. It's a Google form, name, email group that you want to be a part of, and you'll get access to a shared folder on a Google Drive. I will send you a welcome email, and then you're invited to, if you are part of a specific noise group, you'll be invited to those meetings or also a general catch-up meeting. So there's the QR code to sign up and join the group. And I think that's it. So thank you so much. Let's create a better Toronto by reducing noise.